Hi friends, thank you all so much for coming back to craft with me, and welcome if you're new here to my channel. My name is Alyssa, and today I'm going to be filming my process on how I created an interactive mini album similar to this one, which I did do a flip through of this little mini album, so I will link that down below if you missed it. But I did get a question about whether I was going to have a tutorial up for it, and of course I want to share that with all of you. So it's just this fun little mini album with some flippy pages, lots of pockets, and definitely go check out the flip through of this if you missed it. But we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. So we're going to start off just with a regular file folder. And I'm using this pink one here, which I got from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to actually turn it this way because I want to just chop off a part down below here. And when we do this, this is where we're kind of just creating the height of our journal. So you can make it whatever height you want to make it. And I'll probably make mine like 7 inches tall. So I'm going to cut this down at 7. Okay, so this part is going to be my journal, and I want my tab here, so that's kind of why I kept that part. This part here you could use elsewhere in the journal, but I'm just going to add it to my scrap pile for now because we're not going to be using that quite yet. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just flip this over because I do want to create some score lines over on the side here. And there are lines already on this side, but I don't want to use those. So I'm going to just line my folder up now here on my straight edges. And I'm going to create 2 little score lines for my spine. And I do this just so I have a more curved and bendable spine. So I'll show you what I mean there. But I pretty much, this is all preference as well, but I'm going to score at 3/8 of an inch and then 3/4 of an inch. Because I want my signatures to be not too close together, but not too far apart, of course. So this width is really my preference. So you could score it wherever you want to, like 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch, whatever is easier for you. But again, I just did 3/8 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch. And so when we go to open this up, this is still going to be the center of my journal or my spine, but I'm going to have these extra 2 lines over here, and then it might be a little busy over here, but let me just grab my pencil. Okay, so I kind of just drew pencil marks on the lines over here that I want to focus on, but I'm pretty much just going to fold now all of the score marks. And then this other one here that I drew a line on, we're going to fold that one as well. And then same thing over on the opposite side. There's a score mark here, so I'm just going to fold this. And my last little one here, we're going to fold as well. So now we kind of have our spine there, and it's curved like that. And then I'm just going to, again, fold everything in half. So just put it back to the original position that it was in. And I'm going to actually turn mine back to all my straight edges here. And now I'm going to make a score line somewhere over here so that I can fold the flaps inward to create my side pockets on the inside of my journal. So again, this is all just preference. So right now we're going to determine the width of our journal. So I'm probably going to do 5 3/4. So I'm just going to score all the way down like so. And then I'm going to take my flap here and just fold it over to the inside. And same thing with the flap on the opposite side. I'll just fold that in. Like that. And then here's our little spine. So this is what it's going to end up looking like. These will just be little side pockets on the insides. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start covering up the outside of my journal. So for my cover at least, let's see, it measures 5 inches across by 7 inches tall. So you could cut out the same exact size as that, or you could cut out a page that's slightly smaller so that you have a border going around the edge, just like this one. So that's probably what I'm going to do. And I think today I'm going to be using the Park Lane watercolor paper pad here. And this is from Joann's. So I'm just going to set this aside and I'm going to cut out 2 sheets. Let's see. I think I'll do 6 3/4. So this is just going to be the height of my paper. And then I'll do 4 3/4 for the width. So I'll cut out 2 of that size. 1 for the front and 1 for the back. So now it's going to look something like this with a border around the edges. And just going to go ahead and glue those both on first. Okay, and then for my spine, I like to cover up the spine with some fabric. So I just have 2 little scraps here, and I just have a bunch of fabric scraps in my stash. So these I think should be good for the spine. I think I'll cut them down a little bit. Okay, so I have my 2 little scraps here. Sometimes what I do is I'll just pull apart the threads on all 4 sides of my scrap here, just to give it more of this like frayed look. And hopefully it'll show more as I keep pulling more threads out. Okay, I know this fabric is kind of dark. It's actually like an emerald green kind of shade, but hopefully you can see the frayed edges just a little bit compared to this, where it's just like a straight edge. But I'm pretty much just going to do the same thing to this piece. Okay, so here are my little fabric pieces, and now I'm just going to take one of them and glue it to the outside. And I think part of it is going to go over my covers. So just plop some glue all over the spine. And set that right down. Adjust it if you need to before the glue dries. And then I'm going to flip it to the inside. And it just depends on what you want to cover up on the inside, if you want to cover up the inside at all. But I will probably cover up the background here and here, and then just leave my side pockets pink. So before I glue this piece down, I do want to just cover up these backgrounds first. So I'm going to probably just cut out the same size as my covers to glue into the backgrounds here in the front and here in the back as well. So these I actually only cut down to 4 inches across because they don't need to fill the whole page. They just need to fill this part that's showing. So I'm going to glue these down now. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and just glue my flaps down here, just so they're not in the way. And these end up being my fun little side pockets. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue down my other fabric piece. And so when everything is all dried, it will look something like this, at least for the cover. And now I'm just going to put 3 strings in my spine here for my signatures. And for my little Easter mini album, I used this stretch lace from the Dollar Tree, but you could really use any kind of thread you have or string or ribbon. You're really not going to see this except for on the outside. So that's just what I'm going to use. And this fabric is kind of dark, so I'll try my best to explain what I'm going to do now. So remember those little score marks that we made on our spine? You can still kind of see them through the fabric here, especially if you go and actually fold them. So we want to just kind of focus on the 3 middle score lines. So if you just fold your whole journal in half, you have that one in the middle, and then there's going to be 2 more on either side of it. So that's pretty much where I'm going to put my strings. And I'm just going to kind of open up my journal here. It is so hard to see, but I basically just poked 2 holes down the spine with my little awl here. And it depends on the size or the height of the signature that you want. So I'm probably going to create 6-inch tall signatures. So I want to just poke 2 holes at my 0 mark and then at my 6-inch mark here on my spine. So basically, I'm just going to line this up in the center of my spine here. And again, I'm going to poke a hole at 0 and at 6 because that's how tall I want my signatures to be. So I'm going to kind of try to center those 2 in the middle of my spine. I'm just going to grab these little dot stickers that I have, and I'm just going to place 2 of them as markers. So for example, let me just line this back up, and I'm going to put a dot at 0. So I'll just stick it right on my spine. And then my second little dot I will put at 6. I'm just going to poke my hole right in the center of the dot. Now I'm going to move to the next score line over. So I'm literally just going to fold my whole entire spine. And then I'm going to just use these dots now as my guides for my next line over. I should probably put another little sticker here and then down here as well. Just so I know when I go to put my string through, I'll know where the holes are. All right, and then I'll do my hole down here. Okay. Then I'm going to take 2 more, and I'm going to go to the other side now. And I'm literally just folding my spine again. And I'm just going to plop my little dot just again in line with these. And it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and then I'll just poke my next few holes. So now I'm just going to take a piece of my stretch lace here, and I have mostly purple left, so I guess I'll just use this. I'm basically going to send this through each of my holes. So I'm just going to start on the inside and kind of just work this through. And you can use a needle or anything to thread your string through, but I'm just making a big enough hole to send this through. Okay, so I have my purple string through, and I'm just going to cut off the excess there, and then I'm literally just going to tie it up. So I just double knotted that. Wait, it goes like this. So there's my first little string. And there it is on the outside. And so I'm going to just do that 2 more times here. So I hope that wasn't confusing. When I went to actually make this, I didn't really write down what I did. I kind of just experimented. So this is also like, it's kind of an experiment as well. So yep, I'm just gonna do the same thing here. So I think I will just end the video here, and in the second part, I will show you how I add in my pages for my signatures and probably do the final flip through with you all. So I hope that you enjoyed this process video. I hope it wasn't too confusing, but thank you guys so much for sticking with me through it. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more crafty fun and inspiration, and so you don't miss out on the final flip through of this mini album. And I will see you all very soon in my next video. Happy crafting and huge hugs!